friends, and welcome to Pod Return to the Waking Sands. If you don't know, we are a Final Fantasy XIV companion podcast where we explore the lore and story of Hydaelyn and beyond. My name is Jen, and I'm joined by my co-host and researcher.
I'm Levi.
Hi, Levi.
Today, Jen, we are talking about the blacksmith job quest through level 50.
Yeah, we're doing some smithing.
It's an 11-step Easter egg for 1.0 players.
Jesus Christ. Okay, well, at least there's a point. It's good to know. Very little story here, folks.
How was your first time leveling blacksmith?
It was pretty chill. Guildmaster's pretty chill, and leveling it was not as hard as I thought it was going to be. It was pretty great. Having GC turn-ins unlocked made that a lot easier, but it was nice, made some ingots.
I used GC turn-ins as well to great effect. It's a fantastic system for these low leveling of the Disciples of the Hand/Land quests.
Oh yeah. Just shoots you right up there.
So since I'm leveling all the crafters over again on my podcast alt Shu, what I am doing with these crafting quest episodes is I will kind of round out my quest crafting and Grand Company turn-in crafting with making equipment for the other Disciples of the Land/Hand. Mm-hmm. So then when I move on to the next quest, I have then that tool available to me to make it that much easier.
Nice.
So now that I've got blacksmith done, I've made a set of tools for the gathering classes down the road too.
Look at you.
Yeah, planning ahead.
Of course.
And also, between that and quick synthing piles of ingots and then the GC turn-ins, there was no need to either grind out recipes or to use leaves for XP.
I did have to do some leaf stuff, but other than that, no, it was great. It's been like a year and a half, and I had never touched blacksmith at all. Like, starting from fucking zero.
Well, congrats.
So.
Way to pop your smith cherry.
Delightful.
I'm going to cut that out.
No!
Okay, fine.
God.
Sorry.
It's like you refuse to be like spicy, quote unquote, on air. Like, person, it's okay.
I am spicy all the time on air.
You're not wrong.
So that's just a very vulgar saying.
It was pretty vulgar. This is rated M for mature, everybody.
It is. Correct.
Anyway, so blacksmith, there's not a lot to talk about, frankly. Each section of this job quest line, 5, 10, 15, is just kind of its own little mini story. There isn't really any continuity whatsoever.
I don't fully agree with you.
Of course you don't.
That there's no continuity, but it is lacking for sure compared to the other ones we've done so far.
Oh, I mean, like this compared to Weaver? Like, shut up.
So before we lose all of our listeners, before we even begin the episode, let's get into it.
Turn it off now. It sucks.
Oh my God.
I mean, there is some content. And to be honest, I was expecting the story to end a certain way. And I was really nervous about it because I thought it was going to be drama. But it didn't. So we'll talk about that when we get there.
So the mundane stuff first. Blacksmith is the profession that crafts your handheld items. They don't make anything, for the most part, that does not go in your main or offhand. So you got your swords and your hammers, and to an extent, many other tools for both the Disciples of War and also Disciples of the Hand/Land. They do not make things that are primarily wood, like spears and bows. Those are for carpenter. And the magic tools, like the tomes and the
Grimoires? The
Planispheres,
yeah.
and so on, those are made by alchemists and goldsmith and so on.
Yeah.
But the heavy duty, manly, rugged tools, those are all made by the blacksmith. Yeah. The Blacksmiths Guild is found in Limsa Lominsa, which is appropriate with all the shipbuilding and also all the cutlasses that they need. Because the pirates keep losing their cutlasses.
Where's me cutlass? It's right here, sir, in the Blacksmiths Guild.
The guild has a bit of a dark past, though. The secrets of the guild's rust-resistant metallurgy came from the local kobolds, from whom they forcibly extracted its secrets. And then the guild was founded to keep those secrets inside Limsa to make sure that Gridania or Ul'dah couldn't steal them, and they were forced to buy the Limsan goods in order to gain, in order to employ metal with these properties.
You gotta have your trade secrets.
Yep. But under Limsa's new leadership, though, with Merelvib opening up its borders and also the spirit of togetherness, they are now accepting applicants from the other cities. And also random ass adventurers like us.
Yay!
So let's get down to it then, Jen. We head over to the Blacksmiths Guild, which shares its headquarters with the Armorers Guild. They are separate jobs, though, with their own quest lines, even though they're kind of the same organization.
Yes. They just kind of focus on making different things.
Yes.
So the base materials are going to be, there's a lot of overlap there. So leveling both at the same time makes sense. But, so question, do you got iron in your veins?
Yes, but we haven't met the guildmaster yet.
Do you got iron in your veins?
What the fuck?
I totally fucked you up.
You did.
Yeah.
It's also worth noting, though, that the guild is a pain in the ass to get to, because the nearest Aetheryte is at the Aft Castle, which is near the Drowning Wench. And you've got to hoof it for every single guild turn-in across the massive open plaza on top of one of those spires from the Aetheryte over to the guild, which is in its own little corner spire.
Yeah.
And look forward to that again for Armored.
I mean, that's a tough one, It's not quite far enough away to need its own Aetheryte, but fuck, I wish there was an Aetheryte there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, at least one sprint will get you there, but...
Do you want to ask your question now, Jen?
Do you got iron in your veins?
I do, Jen.
Yes!
At least I do now after touching all this metal.
Yeah! You're probably inhaling it too, to some degree.
Oh, for sure. And once we pass the guild intro question, we can then meet the guildmaster, who is Berthael Spade.
Berthael, yeah.
Okay.
You can call him, I've truncated his name down to Bree as I've taken my notes. So I just call him Bree.
Berthael Spade, or Bree as Jen will call him.
Yeah.
Who wears a very low-cut apron that's showing off a lot of upper chest.
A lot of peck.
And biceps.
Some nice peckage.
Yep.
He is very cute.
He's very cute. He's also very chipper and welcoming. He's probably the most friendly of the guild masters.
Which immediately makes me think he's not that great. He's just... so casual. I'm like, man, I could turn in anything and you can be like, this is pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, he's like, welcome. Just give it a try and we'll see what happens.
Yep, he's just like, he's not very discerning. He's just happy to have you.
So, Jen.
Which is cute.
Will you swing a hammer for old Berthael?
I sure will.
Great. And then we soon learn his main trait, which is that he's an alcoholic.
Yes. That comes up quite a bit. So
every single quest step, at least.
Yes. He's oh, by the way, I go to the wench and I drown me sorrows. He doesn't talk like a pirate. I don't know why I do that.
Drown my sorrows.
Yeah. So he's at the wench a lot. Apparently the guild doesn't do a ton of business. So he's maybe a little depressed because of that. All that's about to change, though.
Well, he's not a very good smith, and we can tell this because he can't even craft like a level 15 hammer, as we'll learn soon enough.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to pound out a new legend, but first we'll start small with our very first cross-peen hammer.
Classic.
Berthael's going to wax poetic about the hammer for a bit. It'll never betray or leave us, like his ex-wife. It's our only friend.
This poor man. So immediately I'm like, all right, so the arc in this job quest line is going to be him. I don't know. He's going to find a new love and a new purpose and No. He does...
Spoilers, Jen.
He does change... His attitude changes a little bit for the better, but yeah, no, spoilers. It's not about him.
He says, though, we should just learn by doing, which I appreciate. So we pound out a bronze ingot, copper and tin together. They fire elemental shard to do the melting.
Yeah.
It'll get them hotter than a flame-kissed whore's crotch.
Oh What? Is that what?
That's a quote.
Shut up. How did I miss that?
How did you miss that? Maybe,
yikes.
Unless he revises his dialogue for the ladies, then...
Maybe. Or, I don't know, maybe hearing it come out of your mouth makes it sound that much worse.
Brithiel is impressed by this thing. It's looking sharp when we just might be a natural. But talent only goes so far. It takes hard work to excel.
You don't say.
So I went out and quick synthed 50 bronze ingots.
Bam!
Making sure I was set for the coming future.
That's a great idea. Just, yes. Yes.
And now it's hammer time.
Wow, that happened a lot earlier than I thought. Actually, no. No, it happened at the appropriate time, I think. Yeah, it's hammer time.
Yes.
Legitimately, it's hammer time. Okay. We make hammers.
Right.
So this is what, level 5, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we make three of our own crossbeam hammers.
Oh, no. First, when we return after having practice, Brithiel was drowning his sorrows in the drowning wench preemptively in case we didn't come back.
Oh, this poor man. Oh.
He was afraid that we were a one-hit wonder, then we'd wander off. So he's like, well, there goes that guy.
Yeah, well, he's probably struggling with some abandonment issues, considering his ex-wife and all. It's rough, buddy. No, but we are back. We are committed. We're doing this thing. We make the hammers and then huzzah.
And then we receive our offhand tool, the file.
Sure.
We also get our reminder that we don't have to buy the materials. We can become a miner and mine them ourselves.
Right.
Or we can also go and grind goblins until they drop ore. That's a good idea.
Sure. It's the same speech every guildmaster gives us.
Yep.
When we hit this point. So talking to Bro again. When I say Bro, I mean Bree. He's making multiple attempts at some adorable nautical and or blacksmithing metaphors, but they don't pan out. So he gives us, and he gives up and tells us to make a bunch of bronze rivets.
Yeah, Jen, we mustn't try to make the journey in a dinghy. I got nothing.
Okay.
As does he.
He starts and stops and starts and stops. He doesn't have the eloquence of Merle Vib, for example, for these metaphors.
You see, Jen, it's like a baseball and a catcher's mitt.
Got one that's round and one that's got a round crevice.
Nice.
And if
Nailed
you
it.
try to put something else in the crevice, it's not gonna fit. And you're gonna error the fuck out of your game. So we're gonna make, a pile of bronze rivets, and he lectures us about the importance of rivets. All right, if your hammer is bad, who gives a fuck? But if your rivets are bad, then bugger all. So don't just shit out rivets. Take care. So we shit out some rivets.
Gross.
It's called quicksynth. I wonder if there's a mod where you can change quicksynth into just shit out. I'm going to shit out a bunch
Jen,
of
don't break
grimoires.
the EOLA.
Oh, I would never. Pure vanilla goodness over here. I have an intact Final Fantasy XIV hymen.
God damn it.
You started it. Let's carry
you
on
made it
with
uncomfortable.
it. Did I?
So we return later. Brithiel. Okay, so here, every time I typed his name into my notes, it corrected it to brothel. And here's a place where I missed the autocorrect. So it says brothel is griping about.
The brothel is super stressed.
Yes, it is.
He's so stressed out right now.
Because the man's making him work and he has to bring in money for the guild's business front, Naldik and Vimelis.
Mm-hmm.
His boss, Hinanza, who is the Armorer's Guildmaster, well, we've met her in the MSQ, and we'll meet her as well for the Armorer's quests, of course.
Mm-hmm.
She wants him to make some products for the Gordanian market. But to figure out what to make, they're bringing in Phasar.
Phasar.
He's not a pirate, Jen.
Maybe he used to be. So these guys apparently have a little bit of a past, a little bit of a history, because they just kind of hate each other.
As Brithiel would sooner bash me teeth in than talk to him.
Yeah, they have. And I think the issue comes from, their incongruous work ethics. So Phasar probably doesn't respect Brithael because he seems kind of like a layabout. And I think maybe ever since his wife left him, he's just kind of given up. And Phasar, on the other hand, is a very ambitious entrepreneur as a merchant. And he is ready. He has a very discerning eye. So I was like, all right, this is our actual mentor here.
Nope.
No. But he kind of acts like it, really. So we're going to go talk to this guy.
Phasar is like the salesperson for the Blacksmiths Guild. He's the one that goes out and gets new clients, and he's like, here, let's push these products in these markets. It'll be a real sweet deal.
Yes. But only the finest. He's not selling bullshit. This is his reputation as well.
Yep. He is a sea wolf Rogaden with a cute tunic on, that orange with the little brown arrow pattern.
Yeah.
He does not open up cute, though. He dumps on Brithael immediately upon our meeting him outside the guild.
Oh, yeah, right away. Backhanded comment.
We are obviously dumb, too, because we work with Brithael, and only idiots would work with this guy.
Yeah, and also, even if we were good, Brithael will sneak his bullshit into our operation as a person, and will become ne'er-do-well layabouts, too.
It's interesting that he changes his tone about us. You might recall, like from the Monk quest, for instance, where Professor Eric was dumping on us nonstop the entire quest line.
Yeah.
But Phasar, though, he's like, this guy must suck because he works with Brithael. But then once he starts working with us, he's like, oh, you're pretty cool. All right. And then he changes his tune too. Okay, so why do you hang out with this asshole if you're so good?
Right. Yeah. You deserve better than this guy. And he's not wrong, but there's still hope for Brithael,
Yes.
He's hurting. I think he just needs a little success in his life, and we're going to help him out with that.
Phasar is like, these Gridanians, they got wood and leather in spades, but steel, they don't got it.
They don't got it.
So why don't you make some bronze samples? Convenient because we can only work in bronze right now, but, whatever. They don't have bronze there either, so all good.
Right. And it's partly due, it's post-calamity, so there's rebuilding galore, and Gridania has insulated themselves even more, which makes it so that, they can't make all the things. So, okay. So we make some samples because he wants to make sure that our work is up to snuff before he puts his name on this shit.
Yep.
Yeah. And we make the stuff. I don't remember what we're making. But
it's a Spatha and then a Labras.
That's right. Okay. And he looks at these things and he's like, damn, this is really good. I'll have no problem selling this stuff. We may have saved Bree's job. We may have saved the guild.
I don't think the guild is in danger so much as just
no,
not making enough money.
Right. And Hananza obviously she's right fucking there. And the difference, I think, in her workload and Bree's workload, she's probably seeing a little disparity there.
Yep.
To be fair.
So later on, we hear that our samples were well received, but who cares about business? We've got smithing to do.
Yeah, we're here to smith.
We're going to make a materia-enhanced cross-peen hammer. Brithael says that we've got to either hit the market board or go mining to get iron, since the Blacksmithing Guild supplier doesn't stock it, but the Armorers Guild
does.
Yeah.
It's so great. And they're kind of on slightly different tiers too. So if you can't find the shit that you need from the Blacksmith Guild supplier, then the Armor Guild supplier will probably have it.
Yep.
And they just stand right next to one another. They're just fuck it, whatever. It's fine.
It's dirt cheap, so.
Oh yeah, that carried me through quite a few levels.
Yep.
Really, it was great. And also, I think the Alchemist Guild supplier also secretly carries a whole bunch of mats that you can't easily find. So if you're at a loss, go to the Alchemist Guild supplier. They've got all sorts of random shit. Anyway, he is, once again, very impressed with this hammer that we have made. He wishes that we were the one to make his tools. I'm like, bro, you should be at a level where you're making your own tools and you're happy with them.
Right. This is what tells me that he is an actual chump, because this hammer is not high level.
No.
But he's like, I wish I had this kind of hammer. I love this kind of hammer.
Yeah. All right, maybe as a guild master, I hate the saying, but those who can't do, teach.
Those who can't do tell you to do it for them.
I guess. But, he is certainly, he's rooting for us, for one. But we're still so early on in this quest line that I'm thinking where the other shoe is going to drop with this guy.
Well, this is normally in the other crafting quests where it's still a bunch of kind of random tutorial stuff. And then it gets going around level 20 to 30, roughly.
Yeah.
It could just be the normal slow start, but this is kind of it in a way.
This is confirming that my initial impression that the quest is going to be about him, maybe like, through us, he will be inspired to actually work harder or make better stuff or change his techniques, something. Maybe that does happen, but it's not explicitly spelled out in the quest line. So I was like, okay, all right. So this guy he's going to get fired, right? Like he doesn't know how to make a hammer.
Next up, he gets philosophical, as some smiths may be content to make a living selling cheap tools, but not us. We won't be satisfied until we're the best, right? If we don't have any motivation, our customers look elsewhere. People badmouth us, and our wife leaves us and runs off with a merchant. Yes, this is very relevant to us and not to him.
Oh, of course. He's there's a little autobiographical monologue here.
Here, Jen, I thought that his wife had run off with Phasar.
Sure. But I think it's just because Phasar's a merchant.
Yeah.
So now he's seeing just, merchants,
well,
philandering motherfuckers.
In another quest line, every single quest is very kind of small world in that the characters are in a very close-knit social loop.
Oh, sure.
So in another quest line, it would have been Phasar because he's the only other merchant we've met so far.
Right.
But no, this is just a thread that gets dropped entirely. But anyways, though, we got to impress some more Gridanians. This time with a high-quality steel ingot.
Ooh.
So these take iron ore and bomb ash to forge. Definitely a market board thing for the non-miners. For the bomb ash.
Yeah.
We could either take the effort to make one high-quality ingot or do what I do, which is like Quicksynth 50 plus for the future crafting tasks.
Yeah, and then just, pick and choose the high-quality ones.
Yep, you'll get one.
Yeah. If you're making 50, you're probably going to get at least 5.
Yeah.
And that's a great way in the early levels to just kind of front load, and it's just good shit. We turn the ingot into Phasar because, again, he's the discerning one. And at this point, I'm like, okay, this is where we realize Phasar is our actual, mentor by proxy. I'm like, and that's fine with me. And he says he's impressed with our work in spite of our whoreson mentor. I'm like, okay, all right. Thank you for the compliment. This is interesting because he asks, like, how did you get the bomb ash? And the assumption is that we killed some bombs to do it. So he is horrified to learn that we killed Voidsent to acquire the bomb ash. And fuck, that seems really dangerous. Maybe just buy it next time. That's what I did this time. But I am an adventurer, so I understand your assumption.
So next up, our star is rising, and we've been asked for by name by a client in Costa del Sol. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Gegaruju, the Lalafell asshole that runs the whole resort.
He's not really an asshole. He's eccentric.
I'm going to go with my term, but
okay,
you carry your opinion.
I mean, we have the Uldan guy, one of the monitorists. Lolorito. Okay. Lolorito, he's an asshole. Gegaruju.
They can both be.
They can, but I mean, it's like a spectrum. If I'm saying Lolorito is an asshole and Gegaruju is an asshole, I don't want to equate the two because they are different. Gegaruju is just chilling out there in Costa del Sol, getting his little dances going with the fans and the wine and the eel pie or whatever it is that he fucking likes. Kind of just keeping to himself, doing his shit, and, being like kind of a pompous ass, but in a, like, I got flip-flops on sort of way. And Lolorito is like, he is like evil. He's an evil asshole.
Okay, so we got banking exec and tech exec.
Kinda? Yeah. One is definitely more approachable than the other, Okay. Anyway. So, yeah, it's not some bigwig in Costa del Sol. Yep. we have to talk to Phasar once again because it was him that made the connection. And the commissioner's assistant meets us in the guild, and she's this super hot Hellsguard female Rogaden, and she's got that like super deep like olive green skin, and her eyes are so light they look like they're glowing in contrast. I'm like, woo, it's looking intense. So the gentleman who has commissioned us has generational wealth, and he has some spectacular gardens. And the gardens for which he is famous have been kept up by their groundskeeper, their faithful groundskeeper that's worked for them for, I think, decades at this time. No. Has served the family since he was a kid. So decades.
Same difference, yes.
And as thanks for this groundkeeper, we're going to make him a perfect plumed hatchet.
So this is played straight in the game, but a gift for your lifelong service is a tool to help you work more.
Right.
It's a bit cynical.
I initially thought that it was like a retirement gift, and then that's still fucked up. Enjoy your retirement. Here's something to remind you of all of your years of toil. But no, it's meant for him to
work harder.
Yeah. Hopefully it makes his work easier. That's all I can say.
It probably will. So this is a plumed iron hatchet, and it is magnificent. We are a veritable prodigy. And it's a shame, says the contact Kuzwib, that it has to be used for gardening and its perfection will be blemished.
Yes. I mean, honestly, this hatchet, it made her feel feelings. She was just overwhelmed by the craftsmanship. So she's probably in the right job, you know? And she says, so after she says, it's a shame that it's going to be put to, grunt work essentially, but, mayhap, as the blade dulls and the grip wears, it will gain a different sort of beauty. Oh, yes. The patina of hard work and passion, the symbol of one's life's work. Bravo, Kuzveb. Yes, I agree.
And Phasar is also pleased.
Very.
Yep.
I mean, we should be proud. Phasar, after he checks our work, he's like, well, you should probably go check in with your quote-unquote mentor that doesn't deserve us. And he says, you can tell him I said that. So we go and we tell him he said that. And Bree gets pretty indignant. He's like, nobody's better in smithing than me, that fucking sod. And he takes this opportunity to reiterate, like, from the moment he met us, he could see a special fire burning within us, something that told him we weren't doing it for the fortune and glory, but for the sake of making something good. And at least on that one note, he and Phasar are in agreement. But I started to change my opinion of Bree on this. It's not like I hate the guy, but, as a guild master, I'm like, he's not holding up his, he's not pulling his weight, I guess. Not an impressive guild master. But here, at least it shows he does have a talent for talent. At least he has the ability to encourage and, facilitate that growth. And whether it's, if it's, facilitating that growth through Phasar or whoever else, then, at least he's making that happen. And he sees the potential. He sees the desire in people's hearts, and which is why it's so devastating to him when people don't follow through. Anyway, so I just liked that moment.
Next up, Berthael has over-imbibed again, and at a bad time, as Phasar is on his back. We learn now that Phasar is involved with the Colosseum in Ul'dah. Berthael says that Phasar throws gold at fighters, and it sounds like he's sponsoring people in the Colosseum.
Yeah.
Like he finds people and he buys a share of their winnings or something like that.
Right.
However that
and he
works.
kind of loads them up with equipment, and so he invests in them a bit. Like racehorses, I guess.
So he wants us to make a steel bouge for one of his favored fighters. We do so and turn it in. It's a job well done. It will cleave Minnie in Arak's neck. Yes,
it will. Just sad, but yes.
We've done that too, Jen.
I know, but they were evil.
Our reputation is growing, and the other smiths in the guild want us to make them tools too. But we're on a tight schedule, And the best we can do is we can make them an example of a fine hammer for them to hopefully imitate and make themselves.
Right.
We're going to make a wrapped crow's beak hammer. This is one of the tools that requires 2 subsequent crafts. We have to make a steel hammer first, and then we have to take that and then turn it into the wrapped crow's beak hammer. So we do, and it's almost too perfect to show off, but hopefully it'll put those other smiths to shame.
So Berthael is like, God damn, this is a good hammer. We're gonna show the other smithies, and they're gonna know how it's done. Maybe it's so good that it will discourage them and they'll give up, knowing they will never achieve this level of perfection. Fuck it, we'll show them anyway.
So we come back later, and Berthael is in good spirits. We are single-handedly bringing in a lot of new business.
Yay!
And he's even getting along-ish with Phasar.
They went to the Wench and they shared some beers.
So there's that arc closed.
Look at that. Well, yeah, there goes that. Dunzo.
It sounds like the Rogaden has a gladiator that he's into, and he wants a gift for her.
Oh, okay, here we go. This is the story.
Jin, this is level 45.
This is the story. This is it. Better late than never, right? Okay, this is good. This is it. This is a
story.
It. He is sweet on this gladiator, and somehow this is all going to come crashing down or something. Okay, so
this is the keen insight into Jin's desperate grasping for continuity.
Just like, give me some.
When the sylphs are like, all right, go and pick up herbs out the fourth floor, Jin's like, all right, here we go. These herbs are going to be so fucking rare. I'm going to find an awesome-ass sylph out in the forest.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Obviously, this is very important to sylph culture. And to be just to have a hand in this really is quite the privilege. I'm just imbuing all sorts of meaning in something that has no meaning, which is what I'm fucking doing here. So Phasar admits to being sweet on this female gladiator, and he wants us to make a suite of weapons for her. And her name is Muriel, and she is a portrait for grace and beauty amid the carnage of war. Like, oh, whew. Okay, he's got it bad.
She is an artist, and she demands tools commensurate with her technique.
Oh gosh, yes. No, the language, the flowery language about Muriel goes on, but I plucked that one out because I think it was the juxtaposition of grace and beauty, and then like blood in the sand. So yes, a high-quality pair of cobalt knuckles, a cobalt shamshir, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
You are. And a Buccaneer's bardiche.
Bardiche. So this guy is spending money on this woman.
Well, we're not getting paid.
No, we're not. But he is spending money on this woman.
We hand them over, and he gets turned on just looking at these weapons. The bardiche. A brutish base weapon, but there's no weapon her feminine touch cannot civilize.
Amazing.
The shamshir, the seductive curvature of the blade. So we leave him alone with himself for a while.
Yeah.
We take the weapons down to her ourselves.
She is hanging out on the Astalicia, which is the big... is it a galleon? Some big pirate vessel out near the Fisherman's Wharf. And if you've done the little Limsa Lominsa dance emote quest, you have been on this ship before. You had to go and I think figure out where a barrel of ale went, or at least get payment for it. And it's the Bloody Executioners, isn't it? I think so. So when you do the side quest, I'm just going to tell it now because it's on the same ship. So when you do that side quest, so every starting city-state will have its own little side quest where you get a special little dance emote. So this is Limsa's. And you will find some of these Bloody Executioners super drunk and dancing on the upper deck. Apparently they stole the barrel of ale. And the captain finds out, and he's super pissed at them. But before he gets super pissed, they're doing like a dance war. They're just like dancing at each other, and it's really cute. So we go back to that same ship where all these shenanigans are occurring. And as I'm walking up, I'm on the pier, walking up towards the ship, and then I see a man who's almost naked, being like he's like strung out on something. I don't know if it's a mizzenmast or whatever sort of thing. It's just they've tied him up and they've dangled him off the side of the ship. I don't know if that's always been there. It must have always been there because you walk up to the top and there's a group of pirates like yelling at him like, where'd you hide the loot? And, oh, those ropes slipping. Oh. And yeah, this is the first time I've noticed this guy hanging there. Anyway.
We give the goods to Muriel. And I'm curious, Jen, does she also get horny on you too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Phasar is getting horny for one reason, and she's getting horny for a different reason. We present her with the thing, and she's like, oh, so, the old guy is a man of his word. Oh, okay, so the feeling isn't really mutual. And she appreciates that he is a man of his word, but I do prefer a woman of action. Wink, wink. And while Phasar has, this is Muriel talking, while Phasar has an eye for finer things, I am more interested in the hands that craft it. Gladiator and blacksmith make quite a pair, do we not? I mean, she is beautiful. She is very striking, very petite for a gladiator. And she continues. I'm starting to feel like, oh fuck. Okay, so now this is the story. This is the story. Phasar's gonna find out that she's hot for us now, and he's gonna get real jealous and like shitty because now whatever. Okay, anyway. So Muriel continues. Know that in the heat of battle, as I clutch them tightly in my hands, my thoughts will be of you. Fuck. Okay, so when I report back to Phasar, obviously I'm leaving all of that out. And I pray to God he doesn't find any of that out either. So I'm feeling very uncomfortable. Because now I feel like I'm caught in between this whole scenario. And, okay. So I'm convinced now that this is the story. This is it, okay? It's not gambling debts. It's not, whatever the fuck else I said. So I'm convinced now that the next quest, Phasar is going to be really mad at us. And he's going to lay some kind of trap or get us into a situation where we're going to feel we're going to get ambushed or something. And it's I was waiting for it.
Is your emotional investment.
Yes. For like the third time. The rug will be pulled out from underneath me.
So no, she leaves and we never hear from her again.
Nope. That's it. Nope. Phasar's fine.
We're back at the guild and everyone wants our wares now.
Oh, yeah.
Brithil is keeping the riffraff at bay, but there is one esteemed commission that he's letting through. Mm-hmm. This one, of course, is coming in through Phasar. So we learn from him that a former champion of the Colosseum wants our services. This is a private commission, so she wants us to meet her on the lower platform around the drowning winch.
And this whole time, I'm side-eyeing Phasar. I'm like, what sort of bullshit are you setting me up for, man? Am I going to meet this quote-unquote client, and it's going to be you, and you're going to try to slice me? Because I took the attention of Muriel away from you?
So we head to this meetup, and this lower platform has no purpose whatsoever.
Except for this.
The spire that contains the drowning wench and the airship spire and the bulwark hall.
It's the main central stone structure in the center of Limsa.
On the middle tier, there is a ring of a wooden kind of walkway around it.
It's a cantilevered platformer on the outside.
Thank you. But there's a ramp for some reason going down to a lower platform, maybe 15 feet below it. And this has no purpose whatsoever.
Nope.
It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't lead to anything. It's like the place where crimes happen.
I've been on this platform before, and I remember it was my first playthrough. It was either, I don't know if it was like a crafting quest or part of the MSQ, but there's a dude down there that you have to talk to. And I had to go to the internet to figure out how the fuck to get down there, because you're walking along the platform and it just kind of goes around. But there's this tiny little divot, and until you're right up on it, it looks like straight up it's just a hole into nothing. If you will just walk off the platform and into the sea, mm-hmm. But it's a ramp, and the ramp goes down, and your dude's standing there, and then there's another platform that goes around just underneath the other one.
We were also here for the rogue quest to disarm the bombs, and there are NPCs here that are permanently doing back alley deals.
Right.
This place has a name like Backstab Alley to the locals because there's no reason to go here except to do crimes or get crimed.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really have a lot of alleys in Limsa just because of the way the city is structured. So they made one.
There we go.
We know shit's gonna happen. We'll just make an alley.
So we meet the contact here. This is a red-haired Mikote with mirrored shades on.
Yeah, she's got the, I don't know what they're called. She's got the, who's the guy in Uldal that we first meet?
That's Ringo.
What's his actual name?
It's not Wyatt.
It's a W name, yeah.
Wango.
All right, so they're like Wango glasses, but they're red.
It'll come back to me at some point later on.
Yeah, anyway. But those red glasses, I have those on my Summoner Glam. They're pretty sweet.
Wymond.
All right, so we are now in Backstabber Alley. We come across the well-traveled Mikote. This is what she's called. We don't have her name yet. And she's got a short haircut, but it's kind of like a short shaggy bob in a really like intense red, deep red. She's got the glasses on and a long green robe with some like intense like leather gloves. And so she looks pretty impressive. And I'm like, okay, so this is the woman that Phasar hired to cut me down because of my situation with Muriel. I'm still waiting for it. I'm still fucking waiting for it. I'm just like, but no. She asks us to craft a sword for a storied Colosseum champ, or rather a former champ who wants to get back in the saddle of Colosseum championing. His name? The Bronze Bull. Have you heard of him? You haven't? Well, that makes sense. He's not doing that great. So he has been struggling in his comeback attempt. However, this Mikote has observed him, and she's like, his weapons suck. The weapons are pulling this man down. I know what he's capable of. So let's get him something that can help him in his, comeback. So we are to make a cobalt winglet with Savage Aim Materia grade 3.
So we make the thing and we hand it over, and the client, the Mikote, wants to stay out of sight. So
when we deliver it,
we hand over the sword to Phasar, and the bronze bull rolls up. This is a Hellsguard Rogaden with like a welder's face mask, and he's apparently not been informed of this arrangement.
Yeah.
Did you ask for me, Phasar? And Phasar says no. A mysterious sponsor has requested this for you, and he shows off the sword. The bronze bull picks it up. This blade I have not seen his equal. And then he pulls out his other sword to compare, which is notably dingier and I think shorter too than the winglet. Meanwhile, we see the Mikote spying from around the corner. Once Phasar says, our mysterious client, she didn't want to be known, then the bronze bull is like, oh, I know who it is.
I know who this is. And also, so it's, she's a she. And she also wanted to pass along this message, and maybe it'll remind you of the olden days. The way of the sword is such that all who walk it become lost. And that's what does it for him. He's like, okay, I know who this person is. And I assume that she died in the calamity.
He should have known better than to think that the Hellfire Phoenix would die so easily. He plants his old sword in the ground and then swings the new one, cutting the old one in half.
This is such a cool moment. So he takes his old sword and just bam, right into the deck, and then shing, and then it just is right in half.
Take that, trash sword.
Fucking awesome.
The Mikote nods and slinks off to inside the guild, where we meet her in a moment to check in.
Just to check in. Yeah.
Yep. And this is where we learn that she said she would never again take up the sword or spear for sport.
Right.
And that's that. We say goodbye to Brithael, and he's still drunk, but now he's a happy drunk.
Well, what he says... Oh, also, the Bronze Bull's real name is Grenfar. And so we check in with Brithael, and, oh, wow, it's been quite a journey, huh? And if, it weren't for you showing up, I'd be another workless drunk drowning my sorrows at the wench. But instead, I'm a sloppy drunk cheering my successes at the wench. Huzzah!
We've helped to turn the guild's fortunes around, and we're a great smith. The end.
Woo! The end. That's it. So what is this Easter egg?
It feels like it's relying on this reveal to give it meaning because compared to the other crafting quests we've seen so far, the story arc is a flat line.
Yeah.
So first off, the lady, the mysterious Mikote, or the Hellfire Phoenix, her real name is Jamoldva. The bronze bull named Grainfar. These were gladiators back before the Calamity. Jamoldva was notable for being the first Alamegan to fight in Ul'dah's Colosseum.
Wow.
And Grainfar was one of the Ul'dah conspirators that orchestrated the Gubu rampage that killed Minfilia's father.
Oh, wow.
So they were both in a championship match against one another when the crowd started to get very rowdy, and Jamoldva sacrificed her chance at the champion title to do crowd management, but she was grievously injured in the attempt. And that's when she swore to never again take up the sport, probably because she realized that she cared more about human welfare than about winning in this blood match. But Grainfar had to carry her all the way to Gridania to be healed because she was so badly injured.
Wow.
And once she recovered, then she became a wood whaler in Gridania.
Oh, wow, no way.
And that was in the 1.0 days. So I'm sure that the OG players were like, oh my god, it's these people again, they're back. But for the vast majority of players who will see this quest, it's kind of like a what the fuck moment.
Definitely. I mean, I felt that there's definitely something going on here. You can pick that up very clearly. But unless you did 1.0, it means nothing. Though, I mean, still, you didn't need to know that. It was like you could still feel that there was a relationship there. And, there was still something. But Jesus, fuck.
So that's that, Jen. Any other comments?
Nope. I had my heart broken 3 or 4 times in this quest. And I'll be fine.
Well, here's hoping next one has more continuity.
Give me some.
I did not recall anything whatsoever about this quest. It was a complete blank slate. And
everything... it makes sense. There's nothing for you. Except the drunk guildmaster. There it is.
Can't win them all. Next time, we will be resuming the main story quest. We're going to spend some time with the Alamegans, playing through the quest, Come Highly Recommended.
All right, that'll do it for this episode of Pod Return to the Waking Sands. Super appreciate you guys listening. If you want to drop us a line for any reason whatsoever, you can reach us by email at podreturnffxiv@gmail.com, or you can tweet at us at podreturn. And with that, we really hope you enjoyed the episode, and we will see you next time.